Hello, I hope you're having a great day. So you want to know what 4,000 tulips look like? So let me introduce myself. My name is Danae and I am a Zone 5 flower farmer. All this yarrow and all this rain. Okay, if you want to see the process of me picking tulips, storing tulips, and making an arrangement out of tulips, stay tuned. But if you came here just to see what 4,000 tulips look like, this is what it looks like. You can see I've got some blooming out there. Some are getting taller than others. I'll take you in for a closer look, but that's what it looks like. Actually, this is 3,950 because I do have a little spot of tulips that didn't come up this year. I don't know, the bulbs must have been bad, but every other tulip I planted did come up, and you plant them so close and so compact that they don't take up a very big space at all. So I've only got 4 rows and 1 row in the back, and that is my 3,950 tulips. And there would have been some right here, so it would have been the same spacing, but they just didn't come up. But anyway, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna harvest some of these tulips, and then I'm gonna take them inside. I'll go over how I store my tulips, and then I'm going to make an arrangement to start off my subscriptions with the tulips. So if you want to see all of that, just follow along. Okay, so I want to go over kind of how I know when to pick my tulips. I'm going to flip you around and I'll talk through the process. So let's look at this tulip right here. That tulip should have been picked probably earlier because, as you can see, it has color all throughout the entire petals. And you can actually pick them quicker than this, although this one will be a good one. It just won't last as long, like all the way from cooler to vase life, as say something like this will. As you can see, this one's starting to get color throughout all of its petals. It has the purple tip and it's kind of like bloated here. So if we compare that to this one right here, you can see quite a difference in their size. This one is starting to get some color on it, so it probably eventually would open up, but you might not have as good a luck with it. And then this one, just notice how much bigger it is. That is a little past the harvest stage, one that is in really good harvest stage, and one that I'd probably let go another day or so. And so when I go to pull these tulips, I go all the way to the base, and if you see here, this is the last leaf. So if I cut it off, I would have a tulip about, I don't know, 7 inches tall right there. And then if I pull it out, and what I like to do is get as close to the dirt as I can, and I kind of wiggle a little, and then I just pull, and I keep my strength on it or it breaks the stem, but we all probably break stems. And as you can see, I get about 3 more inches of stem length than if I cut this tulip off in here, but this leaf could regenerate the bulb and I might have another tulip. It might not be as strong as this tulip, but that's about how much stem length I'd be losing on this variety of tulip. Now some varieties are different. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one while I'm here. And we can kind of watch these. If you want to follow along, I'll store these today. I like to store my tulips for at least a day or 2 before putting them in arrangements. It just gets them like really chilled down, and so if I use really cold water when I deliver them to my customers, then the tulip has time to like warm up and then open up. And then like a lot of my customers get them like this, and they don't look as pretty, so like first impressions, but then they're wowed later as the tulips open, and they have flowers to enjoy a lot longer because they get to watch the whole process of them being closed to opening up. Right now I'm just going to pick all of these because then I wash the bulbs off and then I'll just put them in water. they're fine like this. This is how I did it last year. It just saves some time to not have to bring a bucket out here, get the bucket all dirty, wash the bucket out, etc. So here's some white tulips. And again, I've got one. Now don't get me wrong, I can put this in a vase today. It's gonna be beautiful, but if you're gonna store it in the cooler, then you might wanna pick them earlier than this. Ooh, that one feels kind of stuck. Ooh, got it. It's kind of cracking here at the top. It looks a little swollen to me, more so than something like this. And since I have so many, let's go ahead and pull it, and we can kind of watch these and see what they do. That one's getting some color to it, but these top buds aren't quite open. I could probably pick this one and it would be all right. So on a lot of these, I mean, it's really up to you. More than likely they're gonna open, as long as you don't pick them when they're still really green and really tight. But I'm gonna wait on those doubles. I just like to see if they'll get a little bit bigger. And sometimes I think those are prettier when they have a chance to get bigger and open up more before you pick them. Okay, so these are probably a little past. It looks like all my white ones. Gosh, if somebody wanted a white tulip bouquet, I could definitely get that to them right now. Starting to get an armload of tulips. So now it is worth mentioning, if you are going to pull your tulips today and not store them, you can wait. You can wait until they get a lot more color and then pull them and put them in a vase. I'm going to be storing these in a cooler and then using them as I need to, because I want, like at first I just picked white. Well, I don't want to just give white to somebody. I mean, maybe there's somebody that wants all white and I can do that because I have them now. But if I'm making arrangements for subscriptions, I want it to be colorful. So now I'm getting some oranges, some whites, and now I'm going to be able to I have some pinks, some purples, so I'll be able to put together a bouquet. Now, you could leave these out here if you don't have a big patch and you're not going to store any and you're just going to get them out the door right away. You could wait for these to color up more. But these are going to open. Like if you put them in flower food and put them in a vase, they're going to open. But you might want them to sit out in the sun longer and open more if you need them open for something, or you want to use them the exact same day. I put just a little bit, if you can look in here. I mean, it's barely covering the bottom. Just enough for the bottom of the bulb and the roots to use up some water if they need it. I found that in the cooler, the stems will grow longer if the bulbs are on. After like 2 or 3 weeks, the flowers get color and start to kind of open too. But I don't usually keep them in the cooler that long, so I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna get these washed off, stuck in the bucket, and we will go inside and I'll tell you what temperature I keep them at, and then maybe we'll put an arrangement together. Okay, they're in my bucket. Yay! so pretty. And I smash them in here because it makes them kind of stand up. Now, some people might take and wrap these with like newspaper and hold them straighter up, like punch them together and wrap them. I don't. I like them flying everywhere in my arrangements. But if you want really long stems to sell to your florist, my florist also has really good designers that they like the whimsical stuff too. So I'm not that worried about it, but if you did have a picky florist that wanted super straight stems, wrap those babies up and like keep them tight. So I'm gonna need 2 hands here. Makeshift cooler handle. And then let's see, it's probably not even the right temperature because I just got it going the other day. Nope, it's not. So now I'll just stick it in my cooler at 33 degrees. But my cooler is kind of acting up. I do have, it says it's at 40 degrees, so I need to figure that out and get it to go lower. I don't know why it keeps warming up in here. I will figure that out. And I have about 85% humidity. As I bring in more flowers with more water, I think they're gonna go. I'll flip you around. Here are some tulips that I picked the other day. They are getting bigger and starting to open. So as you can see, just 2 days ago I picked these, but because my cooler's acting up, they've gotten much bigger. So you can see they are gonna open. And they are going to be what you want them to be when you use them. Okay, so now we need to make an arrangement out of these tulips. Okay, so before I can make my tulip bouquet, I need to know how many tulips I'm going to use. So my subscriptions that I'm doing, I have different styles of subscriptions, but one of the subscriptions I'm doing is a $35 tulip bouquet. And so since they sign up for an entire year, I have different ones. I have spring, and then I have summer, fall. I have an entire year, and then I have monthly. So for the 35, and they do it all year long, which is a big commitment, I go ahead and I am going to give them 17 tulips each, $2 a tulip, and then I'm going to just throw in some willow. You could do 15, I mean, whatever prices you want. So another thing are the vases. A lot of the vases, I have vases that cost money, and I give those to people that buy like bigger arrangements. And a lot of times with my subscriptions, I might use them too. But my subscriptions, because the full year gets so many vases, instead of making them store them, I just pick them up. If they want to keep a vase, that's fine. But most of the time, they hand me the vase that I gave them the previous flowers in, and I just cycle my vases out. So I don't really have to do a vase charge. My time is something, so let's say we did 15 tulips. So I'm going to put 15 tulips in a bouquet with some willow. And what I want to do is pick out the tulips in the colors, and then I'm going to strip the leaves, because not all the leaves. So you want to pick out some of the tulips that have the best leaves. So I'll show you that in a minute. And then you'll use those, and then you can strip off the leaves of the other tulips and stick it in between. Because if you take 15 tulips, leaves and all, it's just gonna look like a jumbled leaf mess. So I like to do kind of a mixture of both. So let me pick out my tulips, and I'll be right back. Aren't those gorgeous? All right, so I picked out about 15. I accidentally dropped one, so I can't use it. But if you look inside of it, it's kind of cool. You can see it has like purple. So it's like white and purple on the inside. When it opens up, it'll be like a dark purple color. So that tulip, I just lost $2. Carelessness. So let's see this tulip. Rabbit. Rabbit. This pesky rabbit. So what I'll do is I'll just peel off those leaves that are just not good. And I'll see, like, this leaf has no damage on it whatsoever. So to me, that's a nice leaf. So I'll keep that. And I just go through, let's find another one. Okay, here's one. Holes in browning. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull that leaf off. And then This one kind of has a bad edge here, so I'm going to pull it off. Because I will find tulips to have plenty of leaves. So those will be good internal, inside tulips. I like to have tulips with big leaves on the outside. Oh, so let's look at this tulip. Look at that. Gorgeous leaves all the way around. This is going to look beautiful coming off of the vase. So, no leaves pulled on that one. I might end up pulling this real big one and letting these leaves fall off the vase, but for now, we're gonna save it. Another one that's gorgeous. Oh, love these leaves. Love them. Rabbit. And since I'm pulling this one off, and because this is such a short stem, I'm gonna pull that leaf off and this leaf off, and it's gonna make it a much longer stem. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay. So I love big stems like this. It's just not that pretty. And you can bend them over, but like when you do this, you have to be careful because right where they bend, a lot of times they'll create a crease. But you can stick them in and do stuff like that when you're designing. But this one, and so that hides that. It kind of hides it and you can stick other stuff in there. But right in here, it doesn't look good either, but it might be so far down it's covered with other leaves. I might just save that one for now. These are my pretty ones that have like the pink tip around it, but it's all holy and it just doesn't look that good. So it's gotta go. Gotta go. Normally this process is faster if you're not talking to a camera. And a lot of times I actually fill my water and cut off the bulbs and do all of that at the same time. I'm not sure about this tulip. It has a little bit of damage on the outer petals. It looks like this tulip got too cold. See how this leaf is? And then if you take the tulip itself, it looks like it got just a little bit of frost damage. It's still a really pretty color, and when it opens up, it might be really pretty. So it might be a maybe. Let's stick it up in a maybe pile. And then damage, damage, and damage. Although that one going down doesn't look as bad. That one still looks bad. So maybe I'll just leave it like that. This one is way too short. That leaf would be in the vase. Water. It's kind of a double. There's two blooms on it. So that's all I do. I just pull off my leaves. I get them ready, and then I'm going to cut off the bulbs. Okay, and since that's the dirtiest job ever, now I give them a good wash in the sink. Two. Fill it with water. That way when they're all clean, I'm just going to stick them in there, and then I can just cut them and arrange them later. Usually I have like all of them cut, cleaned, and then I just take them and start cutting them and putting them into the vase. But today it's kind of dirty in here because of the tulip bulb mess. So I'm going to do this. Okay, so I have all my tulips, and I love these with the purple, and I like how they're pointing out. So I'm just going to snip it, and then I'm going to let it point out. Let's find another one that's pointing out. That one's kind of pointing up. This one's kind of pointing out. So I'm gonna maybe at a different angle let that one point out. I'm gonna snip it. Oh, I love this curlicue leaf in there too. And I like this shape already. That's neat. Yay! Okay. And then this one has a really pretty leaf. So, but it kind of stands up, and I think that would be neat as the leaf in the front. So I'm just gonna snip, I'm just snipping a little bit off, not a bunch, because I just pulled these out of the field. They don't need like an inch cut off of them or anything like that. Let me see. I can't see what you guys see. Oh yeah, that's looking cool. And now I need one in the back here. And of course, I didn't clean any more of those tulips with the purple leaves. Might need another one. But maybe I'll take this big leaf that had that end problem, and I might stick it back here as kind of the last leaf around the rim, because I have a real pretty purple curlicue one, and I'm gonna just kind of roll it up on the back side. It kind of looks neat. And then I just try to make some triangles. So this isn't necessarily a triangle, but it's 3 in a straight line. And then like I have a white one back here. So what I'll probably try to do is around here and here, put other white ones to form a triangle. And right now, most of these are really good stem length. So I don't ever make bouquets backwards. Oh, I like this curlicue stem, so I might try to just stick that going out. Oh yeah. And now I'm going to put another one to kind of form a triangle. I'm going to make this one shorter. So if you want to make something shorter, or you want to see where it's at, you can just hold it and then cut the stem off where you think it's going to look good. So I think this one, I want it to be right in here. Might have to move a few leaves out of the way to do some of these things and put them back. But now I've got kind of that triangle shape I was going for. And you can roll any leaves you want, or just let them dangle. All right, so now I need some height, right? I need some nice height and some whimsical touches to this. And then like this tulip, if you look, this tulip is just blocked by this leaf. You can't even see it. So I might go through after I'm done and either fold those leaves down or rip them off. Just depending on if I like where they're at or not. And right now, I kind of like this look where it's just a zigzag of tulip leaves. I've got some rounded leaves. I come around here. I love this one. This just looks like a big star. So I'm really liking the way this is looking. And so now I'll just add some willow to it. And I think we'll be good. I had to take a break and go move all my plants in that I'm hardening off. Oh, smells so good. But this was the stalk that bloomed in the greenhouse. And it's a one and done type plant. So I'm gonna cut all these off, strip them, and I'm gonna put a couple in there. Why not? Might as well not have them go to waste, right? you might be thinking these tulips look kind of short in this arrangement, but the cool thing about tulips is these are gonna grow and they are gonna get probably this tall. So when they're fully grown and they're blooming, this is going to look gorgeous. Okay, so now I got this little bow. It should match the tulips as they open up. And that was my date in tulips for everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, if you liked it, to like and subscribe. And I hope I see you all in the next one.